Hello everyone and welcome back to another Blade and Sorcery U8 video. And in today's video, it's actually come to my attention that some of you out there don't really know how to play Blade and Sorcery that well. So I figured we'd kind of do a little how to play some of the basics of this, like how to shoot a fireball more accurately, how to use a bow, so on and so forth. So I'm going to do a couple of things, so let's go ahead and dive right in. If you're new, subscribe and leave a like. If you're not new, leave a comment. Let's dive in. Well, the first thing we're going to go over is how to use a bow a little bit more effectively. It's pretty straightforward and simple, but for some of you struggling out there, I'm just going to go ahead and showcase this one. Let's take a look. So we have the bow and quiver right here, and I'm right-handed, so the bow's going to be in my left hand. Obviously, if you are left-handed, you're going to want to equip the bow in your right hand so your more dominant hand can pull back on the string and you can aim a little bit better. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to stick bow in my left hand, and I'm going to take the quiver. Because I'm right-handed, I want to put the quiver over my right shoulder. That way I can easily just pull back like this and take one out. Drawing from the bow has different styles. One of the styles you could do for almost like a quick aim is right from the middle like this. Think like the string is going under your forearm, and you can aim it nice and straight like this one and just go ahead and release to fire straight. The other one you could do is hold it straight out about under your chin level. And what you're going to do is pull the drawstring back. Don't move your other arm. So I'm using my left arm to aim. Don't move that one. So what you're going to do is draw, keep it nice and straight, pull to my chin. I'm right underneath my chin. I'm wearing headphones right now, so it's a little wonky. If you don't have headphones on, just bring it to your chin. If you have headphones on, bring it a little bit underneath it. But you'll see as well, too, where this is pulling, I can aim up or down, and my left arm should aim me left or right. So if I want to shoot it straight, just whoop. Let's take a look at some NPCs and try it out. So this is a nice quick draw. So if they're coming kind of close, boom, nice and quick. If I want more accurate, I will do, his head came flying off. If I want to be more accurate, I'm going to pull it from behind my shoulder and aim this way so I can kind of pick where I want to aim. This one's a quick combat one, like, oh, they're coming closer. I ran out of arrows, so let's get another quiver. Now this clown has a shield, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get in. So you want to aim a little bit lower, right in the knee, you know. Just find where they're exposed, and then you can aim your arrows. And look, you can do some pretty cool stuff right there. I have a mod called Effortless Dismemberment on, so that's why their body parts are flying off when I'm doing it. But I hope this part of it is helping you, so you can kind of see that this is for quick aiming, some quick shots, and this is for overall accuracy. In closing for the bow, this is the final tip. When you are pulling back on the drawstring, do not pull it back like you're like an ogre, because if you pull it back too hard and too fast, this is what happens. Bwomp, bwomp, bwomp. So you want to make sure you do a nice controlled pullback. You can see how far this goes back. If I pull this back any further, it's going to fall off just like real life. So make sure you're not pulling this back too far, otherwise the arrow will fail, and you'll just be like, oh man. Now this next thing is going to be spells, and I've made an entire video on this one, but I have some requests that say they want to go over how to use fireballs and whatnot and how to better control them, so I figured, why not show you how to better control them? Let's take a look for how to cast fireballs a little bit better and how to use, I guess, other spells if you don't know how to use them. Oh, magic. And moreover, fire magic. A lot of people struggle with this one for casting these fireballs, but it's pretty straightforward. I went over this in a previous video. I'll go over some of the basics again, and then I'll show you more how to guide this one. So in my right hand, I'm going to hold right trigger to summon my fireball. I'm not pressing the right trigger, I am holding the right trigger. Then from there, you want to cast and release the trigger at the exact same time. And the fireball is going to go where your arm is essentially pointed. So if I want to fire at that door, I can cast fireball and aim it back that way. So just like pitching a baseball, if you go ahead and throw it, it's going to go where your arm is. And then of course, if you're doing it with two hands, this is a little bit more dexterous. Is that a word? Dexterous? Sure. So with two hands, I'm going to cast and aim. What? So with two hands, we're going to press and hold and release them just like this. And you could aim both of them at the exact same time. It's a little bit more challenging. You have to be slightly ambidextrous, I guess, or just kind of get used to it. You could do some pretty cool things with 2. It's very fun. Let's try some of the fireball casting on NPCs so we can see how it works in a real situation. So we're in slow-mo, cast, and then move it down. This is great practice if you're not good at casting fireballs and you're not good at aiming. This is how you're going to practice. Oh, let's try 2 fireballs on him. Slow-mo to make it a little easier. Guide both left and right. There you go. Now, this next thing on our list took me a little while to figure out myself. And just like you, I used to also be a blade and sorcery noob. But since then, I have learned quite a lot. Throwing weapons can certainly be a challenge, especially if you're doing it wrong. And it all starts with the book. So let's go ahead and take a look and find out how we can throw weapons a little bit better. Now, throwing a weapon can be more and more challenging, especially if you really don't know how to do it. And the reason why you don't know how to do it is because, well, you're probably playing the game wrong. And to be honest, I was for a very long time. So let me show you how you're going to fix that. So what you're going to do is bring up the book. I'm in the book and I'm under the settings, this little gear right here. Under settings, you're going to go down into inputs and select inputs. And the thing changes. Here you can see my inputs. Locomotion direction is set to headset, so what that means is wherever I'm aiming my head, I could still walk independently, so I can walk straight while looking to the left. You don't want to change it to anything else because that's going to mess you up. Press to move, I have that disabled because, you know, I just use my stick. Turn mode is smooth and my turn speed is a little bit quicker. You know, if I want to turn left or right with the stick and not my human body, I could do so. But the reason why you are not throwing your weapon that well is because you have hold to grip either turned off. You want hold to grip turn on everything because that's just going to be like real life, you know? In real life, you're going to hold to grip everything. So here's an example of that. Let me grab a weapon. Here is the infamous longsword, and hold to grip is the bottom grip button. I'm using the bottom one. You'll notice my finger's still pointing. So I'm going to literally grip this one, and I'm holding the bottom one. So if I let go of the grip, it instantly falls, just like real life, you know? So gripping, let go. It's just, I'm still holding the bottom one the whole time. I'm not death gripping, so I'm breaking my controller. I'm holding it enough so it feels kind of natural to me. And that way, when I throw it, I just release it. Versus the other one, the other style, is you have to essentially toggle it. So you're pressing it twice to throw it, and there's like a slight millisecond delay. So you're depressing it while you're throwing, and it's not letting you throw correctly because you need to turn this setting on. Hold to grip must be enabled. So with this dagger, if I want to throw it nice and straight, it's much more easy for me to do that because hold to grip is enabled. So essentially where I'm going to be looking and throwing, it's just like casting a fireball, you know? Hwah! Let me show you on some NPCs so it's a little bit more clear. So for this, if you want some additional practice, you can use your left hand to kind of guide it where you are going to throw, but make sure you drop your hand before you throw it so it doesn't get in the way. So with this clown, I'm putting my left hand in front of me. I'm getting ready to throw. I'm aiming it here. I'm just like, yeah, that's where I want to throw it. And instant death. You could do some pretty amazing things if you just take the time to aim this one. Of course, if you want to do some cool guy stuff, what you can do, slow-mo throw, go in, hooah! Yeah, what? Look how cool that was, man. I was like a Navy SEAL. And it's all because I turned off that stupid grip feature. Last thing on my list is just going to be combat in general. I know I've seen a lot of videos and a lot of people talking about, how did you do this and how do I do that? And I can't dismember people and yada, yada, yada. So let's just take a look at general combat, you know, things from like spears and long swords and shields and how to and, you know, all that stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look. So let's focus on some overall combat. I'll show you where to strike, how to strike, and how to use a lot of these weapons. It should be pretty straightforward, but, you know, why not include this part? So let's first take a look at unarmed combat. I'm unarmed, but they're not. So what you need to do is think of your arms as an extension to kind of put them away. Of course, you're not going to want to block a sword with your hand, but it gives you better options for moving around. So I'm right-handed. So once again, my right hand is behind me. So I'm getting ready, right? So just in case I need to quickly go in. What a cloud. We instantly disarmed him, but he ran away. But just like this, you could do some very cool slow-mo stuff. So I'm going to go to slow-mo right now. Wait for him. Dodge. Grab the arm, move it away from him, punch him in the face, and then chop him. And if I was to speed that clip up, it would just kind of look like I was like Neo from the Matrix. Gah! Uh-oh. Family friendly, don't want to do that. club. I also want to show you the reason why I want to keep my left hand in front of me is because you can actually catch that when they're swinging. There we go. Look, I grabbed that and then boom! And now I have her weapon. Let's move on to some blade combat. So I'm using a longsword, can be used in one hand or two hands, but you know, this is some pretty straightforward stuff, guys. But let's say I want to disarm them. You don't want to just chop randomly. You want to know where they're attacking. And if you're more defensive, you can let them attack first so they're exposed, and then you can kind of counterattack. So, fool, arm. Oh, gross. Where are you going? So most opponents with a shield, their weakness is attacking their lower section. So if I attack here, he's going to block. He's like, oh, come ready to block. But if we trick him and go below, he can't block that. His leg comes right off. A dagger, you could just, if you have a big sword and they have a dagger, I could just go like this, swing. She failed to block that. I'm waiting for them to strike. Here we go. Come on. Block and then stab. So that's some pretty basic blade combat. Let's move on to blunt combat. Blunt combat is a little bit different because it doesn't usually dismember them. What you want to do is go for different appendages and stuff. So I can knock this person out if I go low for the legs and then up for the head. Oh, man. Later. Oh, another maul. This is going to be perfect. So I'm going to wait and then I go right for the inside of her arm because she has no defense there. Thwack. And then boom. The maul combat's pretty straightforward. Just don't get, thrown off guard while you're swinging. Especially with a shield guy, if this guy's got a big fortress and I don't really have anything. So I want to go on the inside here, just like the sword, and get underneath his leg. So he's going to be like, block, block, not block, boom. All right, now let's take a look at this fun dagger. Using a dagger, you could use it in multiple ways. If I'm going to hold it here, I'm doing some thrusting and slashing attacks. I could be like, poke, poke. And of course, we went over throwing. But if I want to be cool, I could go ahead and use it in the other style to get quickly in there. So this is just a nice little reach around. They don't really expect it. So if we're in a knife combat, reach around. Let's move on to sword and board. Sword and board is pretty straightforward as well too. Just keep your defense high. Don't block yourself completely. So if I'm like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen to me. I'm going to get wrecked here. So you want to keep the shield out so you know where they're going to hit you from. And still keep proper line of sight, either on their feet or their upper torso or head, just so you know where they are at all times. And then, of course, after you've blocked them, you want to riposte with your sword. Riposte! Oh, wow! This is the first time an NPC ever blocked something while I'm trying to demonstrate it. So let's try it again. Block, riposte. There we go. The shield has multiple capabilities as well too, so we can do some shield bashing as well to bring their guard down. Oh man, that was really cool. I impressed myself. Block, stab. Using sword and board just makes me feel like such a badass because there's so many things you could do after you block them, Boom! Shield bash! Huh! Oh no! What happened to your sword, friend? And when they're running, shield throw like Captain America. Wow. Later. And then, of course, we have the legendary shield thwomp itself. Block with the sword and then shield thwomp. And then, of course, finish him off. Man, oh man. I hope after today's video, you guys become professional blade and sorcery players because these are some pretty good tips. I want to say thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching. Let me know if there's a tip I missed, and if you want to help out other players, leave it down below. Let's all talk through this one. Make sure you do all that YouTube stuff like it and share it and subscribe to the channel. That will really help out. Other than that, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I'm Rob from Downloadable Content. I will see you in the next video.